Okay, here we are. Let's just wait for the guests to arrive. Hey, Zark. Okay, I'm gonna begin the tour now. So I'm starting with my picture of Canera. This was a commission that I did for my friend Titus. Yeah, I think, yeah, yeah, glad you could make it. Yeah. So yeah, because Titus donated to my Ko-fi page a month or two ago, that's kind of how we started interacting because I didn't know them to begin with, but yeah. So I think I shared. Hi Ben. Glad you like this. Right. Yeah. So since then we've been interacting a lot more, and they introduced me to some of their OCs. So this was my first proper commission for Titus, and yeah, as you can see, I did I put quite a lot of care into this one. It came out pretty good because I did put a lot of planning into like the roughs, and yeah, I wanted it to um, like the shading. Yeah, I was actually talking to Zark about the shading because yeah, I'm not always that confident with shading, and I kind of experimented a bit. I played around with different methods, and I went with this one because, as you can see, I mostly use darkness because often when I'm shading, I try and add lots and lots of light. Because with this one, I made a dark layer and just removed parts around the edges to bring out the lighter um, lighter colors. And the background didn't actually take that long. It's really just because I did a bit of background practice a while ago, and it's one of those things where I was just like, I need to find a use for these things that I'm picking up. So that's kind of what I did for this background. Is just did a more rushed version of the background that I was practicing. Um, this was a commission for my friend Lionel, and that's his bunny character in the center. Very Roger Rabbit inspired. This one, you can most of you see that, and it involves his friends. You've got Billy and Dusty over on the left, and that's me over on the right. And the reason that I'm in a jester costume is because that's going to be a thing. I'm going to add a new it's a new theme to my character because I was thinking I felt like there was something missing with my dragon character because I like the design of the character, but um, I wanted something just to make it a bit more identifiable and a bit more unique. And this was a lot of fun, like just for like the background stuff with like the anvil and the mallet and the boxing glove and the box full of dynamite, uh, things like that. I'm glad that I allowed myself a bit of time to have a bit of fun with this one. Yeah, because I was told that he wanted a toony workshop background. So yeah, that was a fun idea. And yeah, the bunny jester costume. Yeah, that's that. This one's the bunny theme. Oh, I'm glad you like that. Yeah, so this one was a lot of fun, and I think this is an example of how, because I haven't really been using Clip Studio Paint for that long, so I think considering I'm still fairly new, like I've been working with it for a few months, to be fair, but not an incredibly long time. And this is some birthday art. This is a bit small. Maybe I'll just take a moment to enlarge this a little. So this was some birthday art for my friend Mauve. I've done a lot of art for Mauve over the past couple of years. It's always a lot of fun drawing his character. And the other guy, that's Violet the Ferret, one of Mauve's friends. And he actually commissioned me to do this. It's actually quite funny because I commissioned Zark to do some birthday art for Mauve, because I didn't think I was going to have time to do one myself. And as you can see, yeah, I ended up getting this commission. So yeah, I did end up drawing one after all. But this wasn't exactly from me. This wasn't a gift. This was a paid commission. So yeah. But I had a lot of fun with this one. I don't think the shading is quite as good here. I think I do still need to learn a few things. Like I feel like the shading's a bit too sort of grey on these characters. I think they need something a bit more bright and a bit more vibrant. Yeah, I'm glad you have fun with that. It's really good. I definitely recommend checking out Zark's birthday art from Mauve. It's really cute, and it has my Bear OC Squeezy Pie. And yeah, and with the balloons, I did my best to actually give them a bit of interesting shading. That's another thing, yeah. Because yeah, I think I did all right with those, and yeah, I actually did do a bit of studying, because I've drawn plenty of balloons in the past, but this time I thought I'm actually going to take a proper look at some pictures of balloons and just get a better idea of how reflection works, because that's just something I really need to understand that. I want to spend more time seeing how well I can understand reflection. And it is a lot of fun to do. Like if you can find some nice pictures, you can find yourself learning all kinds of things. Or better shrink this down now. This is one of the bigger characters. So this was my commission for Tammy Tigress. By the way, what happened to the Ko-Fi information? Oh, never mind. It was on the screen. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about that now. There's something missing on this screen, at least. Yeah. Never mind. I need to focus, because the funny thing about this one is when Tammy got in touch with me about a commission, she said that she'd like 2 of her characters drawn. I think at first I misinterpreted that. I thought I was going to be drawing them both on the same, like both would be part of the same image, because she told me what she wanted each of the characters to be doing. So at first I was preparing to do a drawing that had 2 characters instead of just one. But it's only when I actually started sketching out the drawing of Tammy, I realised I wasn't sure, and I contacted her about it, and she said no, she wants them as separate commissions. So I'm glad I know that now. It is better late than never. And yeah, I'm happy with this. Again, I tried to get out of my comfort zone a bit more and did a little bit more studying because I used to really struggle with clothing. I think I'm getting better at that. And I'm pleased with how the shapes came out because Tammy gave me a few references, and yeah, I can't remember the artist, but there was one in particular that this is heavily based on. Yeah, and I think I picked up a few things like I started to realize how lighting, how you can make lighting look more appealing by working on this, and I think I am gonna. I'm probably going to refer back to this a few more times. Again, like there's something about the shading I don't know because I do nitpick a lot, and yeah, I think in some places it looks kind of messy, but it works. I think it's one of those. I think I don't think anyone else is gonna pick it apart the way I will. And Tammy was really pleased with this one, and I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, dresses can be tricky. That's right. I'm really looking forward to drawing her other character. So back to Canera now. Those are the fully rendered commissions. I haven't really done quite as many drawings. I think I managed to get 10 drawings. That's usually that's roughly how many I like to do for these videos. So now we're on to the Ko-Fi sketches. Again, I'll just enlarge this. So the first one, this is one of Mauve's characters. This is Pudgy the albatross. And I think I put this one off a bit because, again, in the past I've done quite a lot of art for Mauve, and I just I didn't think he would mind so much if I took my time with this. And there were just lots of other things that I wanted to get around to, a lot on my to-do list. And by the way, with these sketches, what I like to do, I may have mentioned this in a previous video, but what I like to do is do the whole thing as if it were like a flat color drawing, and then just play with like the tone, like just kind of add a couple of filters, and then it kind of looks more like, because when I do a sketch for someone, I want the sketch to look pleasing, and I don't want it to, because my idea of a sketch is actually a lot more basic than this. Like I wouldn't really think about shading in, adding different tones. But what is quite fun is, like, with each character, I tend to think, what kind of color does what is the main color for this palette? And it's a way of sort of defining the characters. I may have mentioned this before. I can't remember what I've talked about, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. Pudgy is based a lot on Wilbur from The Rescuers Down Under, because that was part of Mauve's design choice. And yeah, I had fun with this one. I started with the beak, because beaks are the parts that in the past I've been very lazy with beaks. Like I didn't used to think about what kind of beaks work for what kind of bird. So yeah, I made sure that I gave it that kind of albatross beak. But it was fun to like exaggerate his cheeks, because he obviously, his name's Pudgy, so he is a pudgy character. And yeah, so I made him a lot fatter than Wilbur. This one's quite a simple one. So you saw my birthday art that Mo's friend commissioned, and this is another drawing of their character Violet, the ferret. Um, yeah. So not much to say about this one because, as you can see, I didn't quite have the energy to do a full body drawing. But I like the idea of just drawing the head because it meant that I could bring it closer and because I've drawn this character a couple of times and but both times you didn't really get to see much of the face. Like in one of them, he kind of had his back turned a little bit, and the other one he has a blindfold. So this is the first time I really got to draw the eyes properly. And as the eyes are both different colours, I thought I'd include that here because even though I'm kind of going for that one colour technique for a lot of these sketches, but in this case, I was thinking I'd quite like to make the different coloured eyes visible enough. By the way, there's something I'm just going to make sure that I don't mess up. I'm just going to check on that now. Because I think the next one, if I'm not mistaken... Oh, yeah, this is Russa. Yeah, so again, I didn't really interact with Russa that much until I started my Ko-Fi. So yeah, Russa donated, and since then we started to interact a little bit more. I think. I had fun with this one. I think I was it yesterday I was working on this. 2 days ago, I think. It was very recently. Yeah, I wanted to go for something really, yeah. I was going for a cute expression, really big eyes. The thing is, because like most of the pictures I've seen of Russa have really tiny pupils, and that it works really well for the character design. But yeah, for this, I was trying to think. I'd just like to see what it looked like if he was making his eyes really big and just going for that cutesy wootsy face. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about this one. I enjoyed it. I like drawing characters with big old snoots. That's always very appealing. Yeah, and I think because I try not to overdo it because I think with characters like this one, it helps if like the rest of the muzzle, like 'cause you've got the big round nose, but I think the rest of the muzzle that has to kind of excuse me, well, sorry about that. That has to fit in with the So I didn't want to. I wanted to get the proportions as neat as I could. Oh, and this one is for Simic. And I was actually aware of this wolf character before I got this Ko-Fi donation. So yeah, I was really happy that I had the opportunity to draw this because I was quite fond of this character's design. So I'd seen it drawn by other artists, and I had quite a bit of fun with that bottle of potion, finding a brush that would look like kind of vapor coming out of it. And yeah, I like this kind of outfit. Like when I'm drawing clothing, this was. I think it's become something that I kind of gravitate to. That kind of the way the shirt has that little crease, which affects like the little strip, whatever that is, where the buttons for the buttonhole area. And yeah, and I am trying to vary out line weights, learn how to get those right. Because here, yeah, I use various different line weights, and it all seems to work pretty well. Because I think with a lot of the references that I've been looking at, I am studying where they use heavy lines and where they use lighter lines, and I think about the reasons for that, why they work for different details, and yeah, I think it can be quite simple, because with this one you've got the kind of wispy hair, which looks better with thin lines, and I felt like the jacket ought to have heavier lines. I don't know. I think I did all right there. It is one of those things that I'm just never that entirely sure if I'm getting it right, if I'm making the right decision. Anyway, what's the next one? Chloe. Yeah. So this is another character that I was well aware of before I drew this, because as before, I'm mostly drawing these sketches just for those who are donating money to my Ko-fi. So yeah, I was quite excited that yet another person that I was very fond of was donating. So yeah, I had a great time drawing Chloe. I think this wasn't the first sketch. I did a few practice sketches, because I wanted to get just the right expression for this character, that little bit of that streak across the eye. I think that was one of the last things I did, because I wanted it to look like it was kind of following. See, I've not really been using a lot of cross contour lines. Thanks, Ark. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, because I think if you want to make something look like it's sort of moving with the shape of the face, like following the curve of the face, it is good to use cross contour lines. So I'm going to try and get into the habit of doing that more, because now even with cartoony drawings, it is good to think about these things. I think a lot of my favorite cartoonists are really good at adding a bit of believability to their drawings, because I look at the detail and I pick out these little things that just make it work really well, because you get the feeling that this could exist, even though it's cartoony, even though it's exaggerated. So that's what I'm trying to learn from. I'm trying to learn from artists who can do that. So yeah, even though cartoons are not realistic, they can be believable, and that's like if you look at how I've drawn a turtleneck, like the squiggly lines, I tried to use a kind of logic for those lines, like rather than just haphazardly just draw little streaks running down them. I did try and think about how they would look, and varying the distance, and it's not perfect, but I was trying to make sense of that. So this was for Mr. Bracken or Bracken. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And this is Ziu. Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, Zio is really cute, and I had a lot of fun drawing this. Because I don't draw a lot of characters who have big hands and also very large forearms. Let's see. I want to see if I can find the reference. Hang on. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to. That's going to take a while. But yeah, this character had a really adorable design. I think maybe I should have made the horns darker. I think that they're supposed to be a different shade. That's the only thing about the tones in this one that I can pick out. And again, I think I had to do a bit of trial and error with this one, because I'm always challenging myself to like, because I was just given one image to work off as a reference. So the challenge was to draw this character in a different pose, because I didn't want to just copy what was already there. So I drew this character waving, glancing over at the viewer. Yeah, because I love drawing faces like that. That's one thing that I get a lot of fun out of. I think one thing that I've started to get into the habit of a bit, if you look at how I've drawn the shoulder, that's actually like the narrowest part of the arm, which is kind of interesting because I don't think it occurred to me, like when I'm drawing fat characters, I tend to draw like I think I give them really big shoulders most of the time. So I'm varying those things now. Spending a bit more time out of my comfort zone. Is that all of them? I think yeah, that was it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this stream. Yeah, so thanks guys for joining in the chat. And I did kind of rush this one together because I kind of kept putting things off until the last minute, and then yesterday I was like, oh yeah, I've got to do a stream tomorrow. In future I'm going to try and be a bit more organized. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be doing that much, like, because it is surprising to me that I managed to get this many drawings into this stream. But I don't know how it's going to be for the upcoming end of month live streams. But I'll see what I can do, and yeah, hope to see you next month. So until then, I am off to the pub.